to do this thing. I'm not sure if my speakers are working, but I wanted to do this one thing about James 1:7 and the scriptures before and after, the cross references of James 1:6 and James 1:8. The whole crux of this thing is about rejoicing in trials. And James 1:6 says, "But he must ask in faith without doubting, because he who doubts is like a wave of the sea, blown and tossed by the wind. That man," in verse 7, "should not expect to receive anything from the Lord." Why? Verse 8, "He is a double-minded man, unstable in all his ways." So this verse really got under my skin this morning, and I really started thinking about it, and I've been wondering about this for a long time. Like, what does this mean to say, about the man who doubts, about the doubting Thomases in our life? And I basically was like, okay, well, if you're doubting that God can change your mood, if you're doubting that God can change your circumstances, then obviously you're not going to receive it from him because you think he's not going to give it. And I've just been struggling with some, the bipolar and the depression issues lately, and it's just been, a constant up and down with discerning what's from God and what's not. I may do a video on that, just to, of an article I found that could really help you guys out. If you're struggling with depression or bipolar, turn to God, and like he did with me this morning. I was in prayer to him, and you know what? He just turned it right around. I mean, he made my bitterness into joy, and my sorrow into to joy, into dancing. And he just said, look to me, because you can't base your happiness on temporal things. It says this in the Bible, but you can't be tossed about by the wind. And the wind could be, the wind could metaphorically be, your feelings. If you're feeling a certain way, like I was feeling depressed this morning, and I went to his word, and I was like, I've been feeling all week that, God doesn't want to bless us above what we can carnally ask or think. That's a bad paraphrase of Ephesians 3:20, but that's exactly what his word says. He wants to bless us beyond all that we ask or think, but he wants to do it through us, and he wants us to bless others as well. And that's another verse that I really was in prayer about this morning as well, and I'll probably do another video on that. But we have to have the faith that he exists, and the faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. It's not faithfulness to him. It's not all obedience. It's believing that what he said is true and believing his promises are true. And that verse in James, those 3 verses really stuck out to me. And it just means you have to have a singularness of mind. You have to have the faith that says, okay, God, I'm going to trust you with this because I don't know what you're doing. I don't know, I can't put my faith in money, or can't put my faith in mammon, can't put my faith in anything worldly or temporal. It's all temporary except for you. So I'm just hoping that you're going to use me for good things, and I just hope this message encourages people. And it kind of hints this James 1:8. He is a double-minded man, unstable in all his ways. I used to think, well, does that mean my bipolar has something to do with it? Am I unstable in that way? Or am I just not looking to Christ? And I think it's hard to say because, when you're suffering with bipolar, it's really, or depression or anything like that, it's really, really hard sometimes to really see things the way God wants you to see them. But what I would encourage, um, to be stable, to have stability, um, do whatever therapies you have to do. Go to the Word. Spend so much time in prayer, until the depression lifts, and that's what I did this morning. And I just wanted to share these verses because it's not that doubt in and of itself is bad. In fact, it caused me to search out the scriptures. It caused me to search out God. And I think a lot of times God places that in us to say, hey, this is my way of saying, hello, are you there? Are you paying attention to me? Are you seeking me, or are you seeking the world? Are you seeking perishing enjoyments? Was what one commentary I read this morning said, that we're supposed to look to the Lord and be pursuing Him, and not perishing enjoyments. And I think that was the commentary of Matthew 6:33 that I read this morning, and I'll probably do another video on that as well. But we have to ask in faith without doubting. Let's we can doubt in so much that it causes us to seek God's will, but to doubt that He will bring His promises to pass, that's what this is saying. Don't doubt that He'll bring to pass what He promised. All right. So if anything is on your heart, you feel free to share it, and I will see you later.